Morning students, Maurice here. In the previous lecture, we discussed the some definitions like tautology, contradiction and contingency and examples based on this. Tautology means what? Any statement pattern, if you find out its truth table, then in truth table in last column, if over there all the truth values are t, then we say that the given statement pattern is tautology. And if in the last column there are all f values, then we say that the given statement pattern is contradiction. And if in the last column there are t and f both values are over there, then we say that the given statement pattern is contingency. Now today we are going to see next point, duality. Now here, what is the definition of duality? Suppose two compound statements S1 and S2. Two compound statements S1 and S2 are said to be dual of each other. If one can be obtained from another by replacing conjunction by disjunction. Then disjunction by conjunction, and small t by c and c by t, where this small t and small c represent tautology and contradiction respectively. One more definition: duality of two statements. The two compound statements S1 and S2 are said to be dual of each other if one can be obtained from another, if by replacing conjunction by disjunction and disjunction by conjunction, then small t by c and small c by t, then we say that these two statements are dual of each other. Or simple, एखादा स्टेटमेंट असेल त्याचा ड्युअल फाइंड आउट करायचा असेल तर इन द गिवन स्टेटमेंट, ज्या स्टेटमेंटचा ड्युअल फाइंड आउट करायचा आहे त्या स्टेटमेंटमध्ये जिथं कंजंक्शन असेल त्या कंजंक्शनमध्ये इन प्लेस ऑफ कंजंक्शन वी विल रिप्लेस डिसजंक्शन, and in place of disjunction we will replace conjunction. And if in that statement there is small t, then we can replace that small t by small c. If small c, then we replace by small t. If in that statement capital T, then we replace that capital T by capital F. And if capital T, then we replace by capital T. This is what duality of two statements. For example, find the dual of the following statement. Statement is that P join with Q and here join with R, small r. Then what is the dual of that statement? Duality definition: not in place of disjunction we will replace conjunction, which is the required dual. Then the dual of this statement. Then next one, then the dual of this statement is P. In place of disjunction we replace conjunction. This Q as it is. Then again here disjunction. Therefore in place of disjunction we will replace their conjunction, which is the required dual of that statement. Now काय केलं आपण? स्टेटमेंट काय होतं? P disjunction with Q, again disjunction with R. Then dual what? Dual in place of conjunction. Any statement, कोणत्याही स्टेटमेंट मध्ये जर कंजंक्शन असेल तर त्याच्याऐवजी आपण डिसजंक्शन रिप्लेस करणार, डिसजंक्शन असेल तर त्याच्याऐवजी कंजंक्शन रिप्लेस करणार. जर स्मॉल टी असेल तर आपण रिप्लेस करणार स्मॉल सी असेल तर स्मॉल टी, आणि कॅपिटल टी असेल तर स्मॉल एफ रिप्लेस करायचं, आणि कॅपिटल एफ असेल तर capital T replace करायचा. Therefore in that given statement there is only disjunction. Therefore we can replace disjunction by conjunction and we get which is the required dual of that given statement. Another example, if I find the dual of the statement is negation of P meet Q, which is equivalent to negation of P joined with negation of Q. Find the dual of that statement. Now therefore simple one line, in that given statement there is a conjunction, therefore in place of conjunction we will replace their disjunction. Now here again there is disjunction, therefore in place of disjunction we will replace their conjunction. Then we get required dual of that given statement. Therefore next line, therefore the dual of that given statement is negation of that P. In place of disjunction we will replace that conjunction. In place of conjunction we will replace here disjunction, which is equivalent to this negation of P, and here disjunction, therefore we take here conjunction and negation of Q, which is the required dual of the given statement, The next if I take find the dual of the following statement. Statement is that Radha and Sushmita, Radha and Jaya cannot read Urdu. Find the dual of the following statement. Statement is that find the dual of that statement. Statement क्या है? Radha and Jaya cannot read Urdu. We have to find the dual of that statement. It is a compound statement. Now, in that compound statement, there are two simple statements connected by logical operator and. Means here and means what? Conjunction. Therefore, dual जेव्हा आपण फाइंड आउट करतो तेव्हा काय करतो? कंजंक्शन. इन प्लेस ऑफ कंजंक्शन वी रिप्लेस डिसजंक्शन. कंजंक्शन ते काय अँड आहे म्हणजे इन प्लेस ऑफ अँड वी विल रिप्लेस डिसजंक्शन म्हणजे काय येणार? ऑर. देअरफॉर द ड्युअल ऑफ दॅट गिवन स्टेटमेंट इज काय होईल? ड्युअल ऑफ दॅट गिवन स्टेटमेंट इज राधा अँड काय होईल येणार? ऑर दिस जया cannot read Urdu, which is the required dual of that given statement. Why? Because in place of conjunction you replace here disjunction. And means what? Conjunction. And or means what? Disjunction, which is the required dual of that given statement. Now, next point, duality. Now, next point is negation of compound statement. Next point is negation of compound statement. We have studied the negation of simple statements. For example, 2 is a prime number. 2 is a prime number. Here it is a simple statement. Why it is simple statement? Because in that statement there is no any logical operator like conjunction, disjunction, conditional, biconditional. Therefore we say that is a simple statement. Then we have studied the negation of that simple statement. Just take negation. Then the negation of that statement what? 2 is not a prime number. 2 is not a prime number, which is the required negation of that simple statement. But writing the negation of a compound statement. Negation of a compound statement involving conditional, involving conjunction, disjunction, conditional and biconditional etc. Which is not straightforward. Negation of a simple statement is straightforward. We can replace not in the appropriate place in the given statement. But negation of a compound statement, but while writing negation of a compound statement involving conditional, biconditional, conjunction and disjunction, which is not straightforward. For that there are some methods. First one is we will study conjunction of. First one is negation of conjunction. First one is negation of conjunction. Negation of conjunction. For that, here we know that or we have seen that. This negation of. Before that, if I write this P conjunction with Q, this is what statement pattern. It is a conjunction of. It is a conjunction of two simple statements. P and Q. If I take its negation, this is what? It is a negation of conjunction of two simple statements. Whatever. It is a negation of conjunction of two simple statements. Then which is equivalent to means what? H same as L, which is equivalent to negation of P joined with negation of Q. Equivalent means what? This statement pattern is equivalent to this statement pattern. It means this statement pattern and this statement pattern are equal. Now in the LHS, this what? It is the negation of conjunction of two simple statements. H value काय येते? Which is value काय येते? It means that it is a conjunction. It is a negation of conjunction of two simple statements is same as disjunction of their negations. म्हणजे काय म्हटलं? negation of conjunction of two simple statements is the disjunction of their negations. Disjunction of their negations. Disjunction of their negations. For example, if we take park plays cricket and chess. It is a compound statement. Given statement is compound statement. Why it is compound statement? Because there are two simple statements are connected by the logical operator and. Here and means and च्या अगोदर जे आहे हे एक स्टेटमेंट असेल पार्क प्लेज क्रिकेट and next one is park plays chess. There are two simple statements and these two simple statements are connected by a logical operator and means this is what a compound statement and we have to find out the negation of that statement. Means what? Negation of conjunction. Now negation of conjunction we know that आता बघितलं आपण काय होतं negation of conjunction is what? P meet Q which is same as what? Negation of their disjunction of their negations. म्हणजे here and this statement if I take P and इकडे एक स्टेटमेंट असेल ते काय होईल Q or for example bright लिखून दे let P statement denote park plays cricket and Q statement denotes park plays chess. Q denote park plays chess. Then by that we know that negation of conjunction of two simple statements which is equivalent to disjunction of their negations. Means we get P and Q. What we want here? Negation of P and the negation of Q and it's just take disjunction means or P भेटला Q भेटला. Therefore the negation of that compound statement काय येईल आपल्याला असा लिहिला मी park doesn't play cricket or he doesn't play chess. ठीक है, which is the required negation of that compound statement. काय होतं? This is not necessary. Here, write the negation of the following statement. Statement काय होतं? Park plays cricket and chess. It is a compound statement. Why? Because there are two simple statements are connected by a logical operator and means negation of a compound statements. म्हणजे काय आला? negation of conjunction and we know that negation of conjunction means what? Negation of conjunction of two simple statement is what? Disjunction of their negations. It means there are two statements, these P statement, these Q statements and these what are conjunction. Therefore negation of that statement what? Just take negation of P, negation of Q and in place of and there only write or, which is the required negation of that statement. Means park plays cricket, negation of that statement what? Park doesn't play cricket and in place of and we will replace there or and the next statement also take negation. Means he doesn't play cricket which is what? Required negation of a conjunction. Means simple, just if you take negation of conjunction which is same as negation of or disjunction of their negations. म्हणजे काय? Compound statement, if you find out the negation of compound statement and in that compound statement there is conjunction means and, then just what we do, just take in place of and right over there or and च्या अगोदर जे स्टेटमेंट असेल त्याचा निगेशन घ्यायचा and नंतर जे स्टेटमेंट आहे त्याचा निगेशन घ्यायचा, which is the required negation of a conjunction or negation of compound statement. Now next one is negation of disjunction. Negation of disjunction. Here if I write P disjunction with Q, this is what? It is a disjunction of two simple statements P and Q. इट इज ए डिसजंक्शन ऑफ टू सिंपल स्टेटमेंट्स P and Q. Therefore आपल्याला काय आहे निगेशन ऑफ डिसजंक्शन. Therefore I can write here negation. Therefore हे काय होते निगेशन ऑफ डिसजंक्शन ऑफ टू सिंपल स्टेटमेंट and which is same as or which is equivalent to which is same as negation of P conjunction with negation of Q conjunction with negation of Q. It means negation of disjunction of two simple statement, negation of disjunction of two simple statement is same as conjunction of their negations. Conjunction of their negations means त्या दोन स्टेटमेंटच्या कंजंक्शन घ्यायचं विथ दोघांचा निगेशन हवा आहे आपल्याला. विच इज व्हॉट निगेशन ऑफ disjunction of two simple statement is same as disjunction is same as conjunction of their negations is same as conjunction of their negations. Or the negation of disjunction of two simple statements is same as negation or is same as conjunction of their negations. For example, if I write for example here the number 2 is even number or the number 2 is prime number statement what the number 2 is even number or the number 2 is prime number. It is a compound statement. Why it is compound statement? Because there are two simple statements are connected by a logical operator or means or च्या अगोदर जे स्टेटमेंट आहे एक स्टेटमेंट असेल or नंतर एक स्टेटमेंट असेल. or means what आहे disjunction. And if we have to find the negation of that compound statement म्हणजे काय होते negation of P joined with Q and we know that which is equivalent to negation of P conjunction with negation of Q means we have to find the negation of disjunction of two simple statements which is same as what conjunction of their negations. Here these or means we know that disjunction and here or च्या अगोदर this statement P or नंतर this statement Q. Therefore we have to find the negation of that statement means which is same as P disjunction with Q. Then what is negation of P disjunction with Q is same as which is required. आता negation काय होतोय which is conjunction of their negations means just take in place of or there will come and just take this statement negation and this statement negation, we get the required negation of that given statement. Therefore the negation of that statement is the number 2 is even number or the number 2 is prime number. Then the negation of that statement काय the number negation first do negation of that statement the number 2 is even number negation of that what the number 2 is not even number negation of P and in place of disjunction we write over there conjunction. Therefore with the disjunction we write here conjunction what and just take negation of that Q means the number 2 is prime number. Therefore negation of that the number 2 is not prime number. The number 2 is not prime number. The number 2 is not prime number. Which is the required negation of that compound statement. Statement काय होतं the number 2 is even number or the number 2 is prime number. We have to find the negation of that compound statement. But first we observe that in that compound statement there is logical operator or. Or means we know that which is required. Or means what disjunction and we know that the negation of disjunction of two simple statement is what which is same as conjunction of their negations means just take negation of these two statements and in place of disjunction there write only conjunction means काय होणार आपल्याला in place of or तिथे येणार and or च्या अगोदर जे स्टेटमेंट असेल P त्याचा जस्ट negation ते नेक्स्ट और नंतर जे स्टेटमेंट असेल त्याचं सुद्धा निगेशन विच इज द रिक्वायर्ड व्हॉट विच इज द रिक्वायर्ड निगेशन ऑफ दॅट कंपाऊंड स्टेटमेंट नाव नेक्स्ट वन इज निगेशन ऑफ निगेशन म्हणजे आपण बघितलं काय फर्स्ट निगेशन ऑफ कंजंक्शन ऑफ P conjunction with Q negation of conjunction of two simple statement तो काय which is same as disjunction of their negations and negation of disjunction of two statements which is same as negation of their conjunction same. Now next one is negation of negation. Third one is negation of negation. For that, suppose I take let P be any statement. Then first observe the following truth table. Suppose if I take P, and we know that any statement there are only two possible truth value. Point कोणता आपला होता negation of negation. For that I take let P be any statement. P हे कोणते तरी statement आहे, but and we know that any statement there are only two possible truth value. Which one is one? T and F. Now this P statement. Second, if I take negation of that statement P, negation of T what? F, and negation of F T. Just take negation, and last column if I take negation, again I take negation of that negation. Means what? Negation of P. This negation of that column. In place of F there is T, and in place of T there is F. And here in that truth table we observe that. What we observe that negation of negation. This column same as original statement P. Means negation of P is required statement P. Negation of negation काय होतं let P be any statement. P is any statement, then I take here P, and we know that for any statement there are only two possible truth values T and F. Then we take negation of that statement P, we get negation of T what? F, negation of F T. Then again I take negation of that statement, negation of P. Then that time what happened? Negation of F T. And negation of T, F. And here in that above truth table we observe that if you take negation of P, then we get required statement P, then we get again original statement P, because TF same. Therefore we say that these two statements are equivalent, or these two statements are same. For example guys, for example square root of 5 is an irrational number. For example, square root of 5 is an irrational number. This suppose I take let P equal to this given statement. Then the negation of that statement काय होईल? Square root of 5 is an irrational number, therefore its negation square root of 5 is not an irrational number. हा फर्स्ट आहे negation of P काय square root of 5 is not an irrational number. First negation. If I take again negation of that statement, आपण जर याचा निगेशन घेतलं तर काय होईल? negation of P काय होईल? square root of 5 is not an irrational number, therefore its negation काय होईल? square root of 5 is an irrational number. काय येणार? square root of 5 is an irrational number. म्हणजे काय आला? negation of P statement काय आहे? square root of 5 is an irrational number, which is a required P statement. square root of 5 is an irrational number. Means negation आपण जर कोणत्याही स्टेटमेंटचा 2 टाइम्स निगेशन घेतला तर ते गिवन स्टेटमेंट पुन्हा आपल्याला ते गिवन स्टेटमेंट मिळतं. स्टेटमेंट काय होतं? p डिनोट स्क्वेअर रूट ऑफ 5u इज एन इरेशनल नंबर. फर्स्ट आपण निगेशन घेतला, p चा निगेशन काय आला, स्क्वेअर रूट ऑफ 5u इज नॉट एन इरेशनल नंबर. सेकंड टाइम जेव्हा आपण निगेशन घेतोय निगेशन ऑफ p, that time what will get, we get the required statement p. Means negation of, means simple काय होते, negation of p. If you take 2 times any statement, p is any statement, then if you take negation of 2 times its negation, then you get original statement p. म्हणजे तिकडे लेक्चर येतो सर.